Today, we want to share practical tools and knowledge to improve well-being and balance in every life. And the more purpose of this webinar is to help you to understand the importance of balancing personal and professional life, identify signs of work-life imbalance, learn how to set healthy boundaries, and establish healthy life choices for better work-life harmony. And how are we going to do it? First, we will learn about the causes and consequences of the imbalance between work and personal life on our physical and emotional health. And then we will present a series of strategies and activities to improve well-being and self-regulation. And now we want you to make a series of questions about polls. So let's quickly assess your expectations and prior knowledge, okay? First question is, how important do you consider balancing your personal and professional life for your well-being? So the second question, do you feel that the balance between your professional and personal life affects your well-being? And the third question is, are you able to recognize signs of an imbalance between your personal and professional life? And the last, are you comfortable setting healthy boundaries in your personal and professional life? So we continue. The causes of work-life imbalance, a significant portion of our day is dedicated to our work lives. And usually, as we grow older, our focus on work naturally intensifies, often overshadowing other meaningful activities. Our careers hold immense importance, providing financial stability and personal fulfillment, but they should never lead to an imbalance in our lives. Our minds can become cluttered with workplace challenges. Each day brings its own set of demands, and a relentless state of exhaustion can take a toll on our mental and physical well-being. How it's so hard to maintain a balance? A survey of thousands of working adults found that this percentage to be the most common answers. Many surveys think their boss needs to be more supportive and healthy. 68% of the respondents say they are always on because of the technology. Almost half of respondents believe that the success of the business rests on their shoulders, and the company demand and high number of hours. And 10% of the participants believe their job needs to be perfect and not good enough. The consequences of work-life imbalance, a poor work-life balance affects both the individual and those around them. And what could the consequences be? Some of the most common ones are decreased productivity, fatigue, and stress can affect concentration, reducing work efficiency, and making decision-making more difficult. Increase relationship conflict, decrease listening skills, and less of the emotional awareness. Familiar tension, increased difficulty in managing family responsibilities, and decreased satisfaction in overall family relationships. Health problems too. Prolonged stress can affect physical and mental health, causing disorders such as insomnia, headache, heart problems, and other conditions. The last, stress and burnout. The constant pressure between work and personal responsibilities can lead to physical and mental exhaustions known as burnout. Burnout is a big problem in health. And what is burnout? The burnout is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It was declared in 2000 by the WHO as a workplace risk factor due to its ability to affect quality of life, mental health, and even endanger the individual's life. And it is characterized by three dimensions. Emotional exhaustion refers to the feeling of being emotionally exhausted by the demands of work, leading to a lack of energy to handle daily tasks. Despersonalization involves developing a negative attitude toward work, colleagues, and the people one interacts with, particularly in professions that require direct interaction with others, such as healthcare or education, our environment. Reduce personal accomplishment is the feeling that the personal and professional goals are not being achieved, leading to a loss of motivation and self-esteem at work. This is important to know that it's different between stress and burnout. Burnout is bigger, is worse than stress. Burnout is the result of unrelated stress, but it isn't the same as just being stressed out. If you can still imagine the finish line, that there is an end on sight to your stress, you probably are not burnout, just stress. People that are burnout don't see any hope or positive end to the current situation. They feel completely depleted and mentally exhausted. It's worse than stress. Stress is a punctual moment, and burnout is a chronic moment, chronic state of the person. For this, burnout is a serious condition that affects both mental and physical health and needs prompt attention. Ignoring it can lead to long-term problems such as poor quality of life, damaged relationships, and reduced work performance. Burnout has serious consequences, physical consequences, cognitive and emotional consequences, such as anxiety, depression, irritability, difficult intrusive thoughts, nightmare, poor sleep, and the last, behavioral consequences, a decreased productivity, less involvement, or less satisfaction, personal satisfaction. So it is important to notice the signs early so that a step can be taken to prevent it from getting worse. Here we can see some of the warning signs of burnout. or even stress, a punctual stress person. You are left with little to no energy at the end of the workday, or for example, you get sick more often than before you start this job. Stress keeps you from getting a good night of sleep. You are afraid of going to work. This is an important thought. You constantly daydream about quitting your job. You feel overwhelmed even by the little things. You don't care about your co-workers' feelings. You are nervous and lose your temper quickly, or you may feel completely insensitive to good or bad events. You complain about your job to your partner too often. Your depression and anxiety caused by your job make it hard to do anything outside of work. You are pessimistic about your work and life. You have little to no motivation to work, and you are often late and miss deadlines. Or you use drugs or alcohol to cope with the stress of your job.
So after that side, how can we find the balance? So we have selected a couple of strategies that are not only simple to incorporate, also promise to transform your experience on the academia. Because as Silvia said, this is a very stressful context for working. So the strategies we prepare are related to strategies for better time management and also strategies for self-care. Understanding self-care as improve our knowledge about some kind of things that we said after. Also the self-knowledge, and finally the how to manage our support network. We want to show you these two powerful strategies for mastering our time. The first one, the Eisenhower matrix, and the second one, the Pomodoro technique. They are easy and concrete, and we think you can use it daily. So the Eisenhower matrix can help you clearly identify what truly matters and what can we wait. Just guiding you to prioritize tasks by urgency and importance, reducing the unnecessary stress at work. So once we know what is important, what is urgent, what is whatever, then we can be focused. Then is when the Pomodoro technique is on. We can do breaks at work into manageable focus bursts with refreshing breaks to maintain energy. So the Pomodoro technique helps us to be more fresh. So to explain it, we have selected two videos. So for me, 25-5 is not good enough. I prefer the 50-10. What about you? Is the same for you?
More or less,
Yeah.
yes.
25 is too short.
25 is too short. And when you concentrate in activity, for me, it's very difficult to change in 25. So it's a good technique, but we can to light modify the technique and to be more efficient for me. And
yeah, definitely. So now let's spend 10 minutes just to think about you and how these tasks work for you. So think about the task of tomorrow morning, for example, and try to organize by the Eisenhower matrix all your tasks. How to organize it is very subjective, because the important things for me are just important for me. So you are the only one who can decide what is important or urgent. So just remember, into the top left, we have urgent and important tasks that require immediate action. Moving to the top right is important but not urgent tasks, essentials for learn success. Then we have the bottom. At the bottom left, urgent but less important task. And lastly, the bottom right contains the tasks that are neither urgent nor essential. So often distractions that we should minimize. So now we talk about the causes of the imbalance of our work-life daily living. After that, we talk about the consequences, stress, burnout. We talk about what can we do. And then we have that two strategies, the Eisenhower matrix and the Pomodoro technique. And now we are talking about the strategies for self-care. So let's get into that. Well, the WHO defines the self-care as the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent disease, and maintain health and cope with illness, disabilities, with or without support of any health provider. So in sense, self-care is the practice of nurturing both mental and physical well-being through mindful activities. It isn't a luxury. That's a very important thing. Self-care is not a luxury. It's a foundation for a healthy life. Truly self-care empowers us to handle life stresses, strengthen our resilience, and thrive in our daily life. So self-care involves different areas, as you can see on this slide. We have mental self-care, physical, emotional, spiritual, and social self-care. Firstly, we have things like personal hygiene and health, lifestyle choices, including sports and leisure, professional life, our network, personal relationships, and all the things that you can see on the slide. For example, for mental self-care, we have to enjoy reading a book or maybe solving a puzzle. I don't know if you are that kind of person. I don't have place in my house for a big table for a puzzle. So engaging in self-compassion, this is very important too. Then physical self-care, getting enough sleep, exercising, whatever, just walking, going to the gym, having a walk, riding a bike, whatever you want. Also taking a prescribed medication, maybe for your hypertension, your diabetes, or just for getting asleep. Also, we have emotional self-care. That is very important because sometimes in the academia, especially professors, we don't have a specific timetable. I don't know in other countries, but not in Spain. We work in any hour, any day. That is a problem for us. So it's very important to fix our timetable for work. Also, attend to therapy sessions if you need, and write daily gratitude. This is very nice and this is very helpful just at the end of the day, just to have a couple of minutes before you go to sleep, just not in the spiritual way, and you can do it for a spiritual way, but just to thank you because today I finished what I want. I have no troubles with that person that, for example, I had I was worried about meeting and it was okay, that kind of things. In the spiritual area, thank you, we have the meditation. Also attend to religious service if you are inside of any community, and then mindfulness sessions. And in the social self-care, we have taking coffee or whatever with friends, phoning your parents, your colleagues, your friends, your family for a catch up, and then after work, maybe meal with colleagues, because this is the time for to meet each other deeply. So these are very important strategies. So following with the self-care, we have also the training. What I mean with training, we mean that increase your knowledge about important things like communication skills. That is an area that Sylvia and me work with, with all kind of people in the academia, because we need to be very assertive, have a good control about how to manage the conflict, and also how to mediate. I don't know if I'm inventing a word.
No,
it's mediate. Yeah. Sorry for that.
And establish healthy boundaries to other person, and this is the key of the communication skills in the academy or in a professional professional environment.
Context, yeah, because communications, the skills is the ability of express ourselves clearly and effectively, because allow us what I said before, to resolve conflicts, establish healthy boundaries, as Sylvia said, and strengthen our relationships. We have to be open, clear and assertive to reduce the interpersonal stress, understanding environment, and which is easier to take care of ourselves. Also, we have the emotional management skills. What's that? Is identifying and understanding and regulating also our emotion, because that helps us to avoid impulsive or destructive reactions and respond more calmly to difficult situations. This is not only prevents emotional exhaustion, like that is a warning sign for burnout, but also promote long-standing mental well-being and prevent anxiety and stress. And finally, we have breathing techniques, relaxation, meditation, as I said before, visualization techniques. I don't know if you tried that before, but they are very useful because this reduce the level of cortisol, the stress hormone, and other stress hormones of our body. Practicing these techniques can help us to calm the state, that improve our focus, reduce muscle tension and regulate the body response to stress. Together, these three strategies create a solid foundation of self-care and allow us to take care of our emotional, mental, and physical care. This is very important things if you have the opportunity to improve your knowledge about the three of that: communication, emotional, and the breathing techniques. We think they are very necessary, not just for work, and also for the rest of the context of our lives. And what about self-knowledge? Well, what's that? Self-knowledge is As I reflected in the evidence, in the literature, self-knowledge is very effective strategy for dealing with difficult situations because it helps us to understand what is happening to me, how I feel, and why I feel that way. However, we often spend more time fixing and observing others, what they're doing, what they're eating, how they manage their lives, than observing us, because this is very uncomfortable. We don't really get the necessary time to be focused inside of us. So because we don't like to criticize ourselves, and that is understandable, but we need to do it. This is why engaging with self-evaluation and taking time for introspection can feel both uncomfortable, but also is transformative. So we must to take time to identify, understand, accept, and attend our emotions to deal with difficult situations. Well, a good moment to do that is in any time of the day, but I think at the finish of the day is when you are in bed, when everybody is sleeping or almost silent at home, and then you take that time, no? Recognize where are your limits, recognize when you are respond impulsively at any colleague or maybe any member of your family, and recover strategies that you know you have but you are not using because you are too stressed. So it's important to think about what have worked for me before, and then intend to recover that strategy that works for me before and try to implement it again. And the last of the strategies of self-care is the support network, because maintaining a strong support network is crucial for those facing high emotional and physical demands. I'm sure when you are in that level of crisis, you call a family member, you call your bestie, just to download all that feelings, all that that negative feelings that you are experiencing. So support networks provide emotional relief, motivation, and another perspective, because this is very important, because maybe you are experiencing a negative situation, but that family member, colleague, or bestie helps you to see it in another way, no? That is very important, especially when you are facing challenges in high stress environments like academia. Being a part of a supportive community can help buffer the effects of work-related stress, improve job satisfaction, and prevent burnout. So also building meaning relationship both inside and outside the workplace can create a solid foundation of support. So here are some ways to foster these relationships. First, share your experience with team. This is very healthy too. Sometimes we are not comfortable with our colleagues because we think they are judged our capacity, maybe we think they are feeling I'm not good enough to be here. But that is hopefully that is just your thought, but it's not reality. So be brave and just share your experience regularly with your team, because that normalizes the ups and downs that everybody feels. So don't worry about to be emotional at work too. Also allow yourself to feel. Some people is uncomfortable to say how is feeling in front of others. So, but it's very healthy too to arrive at home, for example, and to say, today was very nasty, I'm very exhausted. Why that is important? Because everybody knows that your level of maybe patience is very low. So they can regulate also how they are interacting with you. It's for that it's very important to say also when I feel very happy and I go to work and they can feel that I'm happy because maybe I'm smiling, I'm speaking quickly, they can feel it, and they can also help me to regulate, and it's very nice and healthy to have the opportunity to share with your colleagues and your family how you feel. And finally, prioritize significant relationships. Invest time just in the people that nurture you. Set aside regular moments to connect with family, friends, and trust colleagues. That I think everybody here have periods of our lives that we maybe are not connected with our friends, or maybe monthly or maybe yearly. So if you are sensitive about that, just include it in your agenda that call somebody every Monday, or maybe call my mom when, if you know, if everybody, anyone in your family have a consultant, a professional health consultant, something like that, something that is important, not just the birthdays, also the important things that the people around us have, just to nurture and to take care of our networks. And finally, to seek professional help if you need. Sometimes support from peers and love is not enough. So seek a specialized service when feeling overwhelmed. Maybe at the university where you work, it is a place that you can have that appointment, or maybe it could be out the university or the college where you are working. But professional counseling can provide a coping mechanism, objective perspectives, and strategies for managing stress. In sum, we how to balance the work and life. Well, we have to recognize the warning signs of burnout. Do you remember someone with were talking about the poor sleeping, the intrusive thoughts? Maybe we eat poorly too.
Avoid the work and
Also, we try to reverse damage caused by stress, seeking support and managing it. How? Seeking support from our organization, for a mental health professional, or someone close to you, a very close and specific individual. Also, connect with coworkers if possible, and join an advocacy support group. How to balance work life too? Build resilience to stress, improve your physical, emotional health, reevaluate your priorities, make time for self-care, take time off of work, and reconnect with your values. That is important. You are going to say something?
no.
And finally, reframe the way you look at work. This is important because 10 years ago, I felt the work was a different thing that I'm experiencing now. And this is a dynamic way of how I go in my daily living at work. So set boundaries and reduce your workload when possible. If it's not possible, just try to compensate. Revisit your motivation for taking this job. What was the thing that go inside to you to say, I want to work here? It was just an economic thing. It was, just think about it and focus on the part of your life that brings you joy. That things that for me is very special to work with Sepia, for example, and that is a thing that when I'm overloaded, I think, well, I can be with her and other colleagues of our investigation group, then I can download and they help me to regulate myself. If you have the opportunity to do it, just identify who are the right persons to do it. And we said before, self-care, improve your knowledge about the communication skills, also how to mediate and go with it. Find a moment on your day to self-knowledge, to be conscious why you do the things you do at work, and try to be in a support network, a strong support network.
About this, the last point for support networks, the literature says that the best predictor of the happiness is the variable to have intimate relationships, friends, colleagues, familiar members, familiar, is the best predictor, is the variable, the more important variable to happiness. So if I think in one strategy about this, I think the priority strategy is support networks. And I think this, however, this variable, I think sometimes is avoid or...
Maybe you can have work network, strong work networks, because maybe you are new on your place, or maybe it's not a good relations, they are not good, but don't worry about that. Maybe in the close to you, maybe not with your colleagues, but maybe the colleagues on the other side of the corridor, just check, don't be alone. Just try to find someone to coping with the problems you could have in your everyday life. And this is all that we have for you today.